Right. So with that, I will begin our lessons. And before I begin really going into the concept of resilience, I want to kind of explore with you how our world is changing, and it is changing fast. Our world is undergoing a rapid and profound transformations driven by very complex interface of global trends and disruptions. These changes are reshaping societies, our economies, our ecosystems in ways that are increasingly difficult to predict and manage. These main pressures interact with and compound upon one another. So, for instance, if we look at urbanization and the rapid urban growth that we're experiencing, it strains infrastructure, it increases emissions, leading to more climate impacts. And then, of course, it also often leads to the expansion of vulnerable and sometimes informal settlements. At the same time, climate change intensifies urban risks like flooding, heat waves, and water scarcity that further increases the vulnerability of communities. Conflicts and technology shifts are reshaping our societies often faster than policies can adapt. The globalization is deepening our interconnection, but it's also exposing our vulnerabilities and intensifying inequities. For instance, let's take the food system of a city. Increasing urbanization means we are getting used to getting food from faraway sources. But as we experience increased urban pressures, means that we have increased demand for food that is being brought to the cities and communities which we live in, which are being produced outside. So in addition, as this exists, climate change is impacting our food systems and our capacity to produce globally, but also is often causing disruptions to supply chains. And climate change is not the only thing that has that impact, right? It's pandemics like the COVID-19 pandemic we've experienced that had huge strains on supply chains, but it's also conflicts. For instance, the Ukraine war, when it started, impacted food production, pushing the price of bread for communities across our continent. So there's a yearly stocktake on risks that's being produced by the World Economic Forum. It's called the Global Risk Report. And year after year, including the one that's been produced this year, launched in January, highlights the interconnectedness of these global challenges we're experiencing, emphasizing that crisis is in one area often exacerbates issues in the others. For instance, climate risks like extreme weather events and biodiversity loss are closely linked to societal instability, including forced migration and economic inequality. Geopolitical tensions and conflicts are intensifying technological threats such as cyber warfare and misinformation, creating a cycle of instability, and so on and so forth. And this report underscores the need for a more coordinated global response to these challenges. And in the chats, Sophie will share with you a link to this latest report so you can explore it on your own. It's very informative. So we are in this area of multiple crises, which we sometimes refer to as polycrises, where we are simultaneously facing multiple interconnected changes and transformations. Our response mechanisms, our policies, our infrastructure, our planning processes need to speed up to keep up with these realities. Our capacities, the resources, and tools also need to be up to par to really keep up with these rapidly evolving and interconnected realities. And also, we are constantly dealing with these challenges very in isolation and not working together or learning from one another.